everybody. I'm in a predicament again. Tractor here broke down on me while in the middle of trying to clear my driveway. I got so much to do, and it's a fine time for this thing to start breaking down on me. But what I'm going to do here is show you how to correct it. What I'm having a problem is a spark issue. I've already removed the distributor and the coil and all its components. Well, when we get inside, I'll show you how to test all these items out. But as you can see, I've got so much to do down through here to clear. In order for me to get out, I'm stranded out here. I have no way of getting out. I don't have a full drive truck. In order for me to do all this, I need to get my driveway plowed out.
Well, I got my 9-inch Ford tractor right here, and like I was saying, it got all this to plow out and everything. Had to hook the battery charger up, get it charged up because I ran it down a little bit. And up in here towards the front area is where the distributor, I just pulled it out. Only took a 1/2-inch wrench to take it out. That's the distributor carburetor, distributor coil, and the whole thing comes out all at once. I just had to remove the spark plug wires off the distributor cap to remove it. But as you can see, I've got all this down through here to plow out in order for me to get out of here. So I got 600-foot driveway in order for me to get to the main road. But it's all that's full drive track, and I managed to get some of it plowed a little bit, cleared, but couldn't finish. Darn tractor let me down. So we'll go inside here and we will demonstrate on troubleshooting the ignition system on a 9N Ford tractor. This one here is a 1947 9N. So let's go on inside and we'll work on that.
Okay, we're back inside. Well, here it is. Here's the whole unit that came off that 9N Ford tractor. As you can see here, it's the here's the distributor area, distributor cap, distributor where it rotates off the shaft there, and here's the coil pack. Here's where the your ignition wire would hook onto, and that's basically all there is to that. And it only required 2 bolts to take it out, one there and one right here. 1/2-inch wrench took it right on off of there. So let's disassemble this. Let's start out with the distributor cap, and we want to take this off. Well, we can't take it off yet. Let's take this part off first. Oh, that a little tight there. We'll have to use a little bit of persuasion with the screwdriver here and see if we can get that monkey off of there. And they can give me a hard time. Let me try another approach. And let me try another approach here. That's good. Alright, there we go. It all come apart. Okay, we'll just take our coil. That's the coil right here. There's the coil. And so we'll just set that right there. I'll flip this over. I'll set that back over here. Set this over here and remove the distributor cap. Well, the rotor's already off of it. I took it apart earlier. And we'll inspect the inside here, the distributor cap, and see how it's looking. And I believe we have a problem. Well, if you can look into here, you can see that little spot. That's a little burnt spot right there, and here's where the contact point's supposed to be at. If you notice this one over here, let me get a better lighting view on that. This spot right here, it's all nice and clean. You don't see anything, but there's a burnt spot right there, and that one is the number 2, which the firing Numbers is on the top of the distributor cap, as you can see here. Let me set this aside. I'm not doing this too well here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what got here, I noticed there is a burnt spot right there. Now if I go here on the side, if I could show you, see how shiny that is there, and then see how dark it is in this one. I'll flip it over here to the other two spark plugs. Look how nice and shiny these are inside of there. So that tells me I was having a heck of a misfire, which I knew I did, which I cleaned the plugs out, figured it might have been a foul plug. But right here, that arc from that rotor was skipping across there and hitting the plastic and not the metal contact. So, and here's the point where the coil rests on. That's kind of wore down a little bit. We'll have to get a new cap. So I'll set this aside, and then we'll move on to our next item and our points. Our points and condenser. There's our condenser, and our set of points is right here, which I took usually take a file in between them points right there and file them out, and too snowy and too messy outside for me to go out to the shop and get an actual file. But thank God I got a lady around the house, and you just take one of these little emery boards and get down there and file it out, or you can get a regular points file. But what I'm going to do here is do a test to where I could test this coil pack out. This is what the coil actually looks like. So this is a gasket. I'll just set that aside too. Well, I better not. I'm going to need that. I can't have no movement when I put this back somewhat together. Whenever I'm going to test this coil out here and try it out and test it to make sure it's working properly. But as you can see, that tab here goes right up underneath this distributor cap and feeds the fire through the center, which will contact the top of your rotor button, and it'll go around all of your to each firing order where your fire is. And this little spring right here, a little corroded around there. That's where it makes contacts to your points right up in here, which it'll sit right in here and make contact, as you can see right there. So what I'm going to do is here we're going to go and we're going to don't need that, put that aside, and I'm going to put this together. But I need to put this gasket in here because it can't have no movement whatsoever when conducting this test on testing this coil out to make sure that it's working properly. What I'll be using is a there we go, it fit in there and it's tight and it's not moving anywhere. Okay. And what we're going to do, I'm going to set that approximately, let's see what's the best view. Best view would probably be right about here. So, first thing first, we'll take a 12 volt power supply, or battery. Since I'm inside, I'll use this inverter, 12 volt inverter for things. So what I'll do is take the hot lead. I got the positive of the inverter, and we're going to put it onto this point right here. Let me loosen this little nut up a little bit, and we're going to put that right there. That's going to put 12 volts right there into that. That's where your key switch is at. Once you turn the key switch on, that's where it sends the power to your coil when you get to turning it on. Next thing would be the ground. Where you want to ground is ground it anywhere like you ground the chassis. With the we got the 2 bolts here. So I'm just going to ground it right about here. Be like a chassis ground. Be like the be like the negative side on a battery. Now remember, this is a 12 volt system. When they first came out, they were 6 volt, and this has the 12 volt conversion in it. So what I'm going to do here is, let's see, I need another jumper wire, and reach over here and get me another jumper wire. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place this wire right about here, and just enough, a little bit of space to where I want to see a spark, is what I want to do. See a spark coming off there. Let me move that wire out of this way a little bit, bend it over here so we can see. Now let's see here, and then the other end of it, the other end of this will go into here to where it would ground out to the plate. I'll find a good spot here to ground it out. Let's see, heck, why don't I just ground it to the thing here? But I'll just ground it out, find a ground spot right about there. And kind of difficult trying to find some place to ground it. Let me jam it into there like so. That should do it. Well, let's keep on testing here. So what I got going here is it's pretty much narrowed down to where it's a condenser, where I can create a fire at the points by opening this and closing it back and forth and getting a fire. But it's an intermittent fire. What I was trying to do is get a fire going from this point to the alligator clip. Let's see if I can put it up there a little better. Yeah, I was trying to get a spark arcing off of there, and it's an intermittent spark. And the points is not firing as quite as it's supposed to. It's skipping the spark across everywhere else except for the contacts, except for where it's supposed to contact on the points. So a condenser has another way of doing it too, because a condenser is a capacitor, and it has the initial charge. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to get points and condenser to start out with. I'm sure the coil is alright, because I'm getting an intermittent spark coming out of the coil pack, and it'll jump across that alligator clip every once in a while, but I'm not getting a steady spark from out of the points. So if I'm not getting a steady spark out of the points, then I'm not going to get a steady spark out of that coil pack. So, well, and I get a chance here off to the either I'll go to Rural King or to I guess the other tractor place here in town, and pick up a set of points and condenser. Let me pop this back off here again. And there's the coil pack, and here's the condenser. The condenser there, it's the one that initiates the charge for the points, which when power goes to it, it generates power and it goes right into your points. And when you open up your point contact, it should, steadily arc, which rotates over the cam lobe. And I discovered another thing that I'm going to probably have to get to. I hate to say it. I discovered a crack. There's a crack right there on the bottom part of my distributor. Ooh, that's not good at all. Look at that. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, well, I guess I gotta get a new distributor. Bummer. Alrighty then, I hope somebody learned something from it, because aggravation.